All right, y'all. So this is so heavy on me right now. I just have to do a video real quick and just get it off. So, I mean, I feel like the whole 2020, I have been fighting all freaking 2020. And I hate confrontation. I hate it with a passion. But, it comes along with the territory. I'm literally probably in lawsuits after lawsuit. It's a regular thing, right? With the type of work that I do. But, oh my gosh, y'all. Some of these suits have been for some of the smallest, silliest things that I've had to retain attorneys for. If you're going to play around in this real estate investment arena, be it tax sales or however you plan to acquire your properties, whatever means you use, I'm gonna need y'all to know what the hell y'all doing. I'm gonna need y'all to understand the law. I'm gonna need y'all to research the statutes pertaining to whatever it is that you are doing, because people are wasting time. You are wasting our money, and more so just our time. My time is so valuable. And here I am, fighting and having to retain attorneys for somebody that feels like they can go just out of the blue and pay taxes on somebody's property that's delinquent, and they take ownership of it. Meanwhile, I've, found the owners and got rights and interests passed to me. And now I call the tax commissioners to pay the taxes, and somebody already paid them. Oh, and they didn't give a name. Oh, and so, she did a little bit more digging, and now we find out that it's a neighbor, but they didn't give their name. Canvass the neighborhood. It's not a neighbor, right? Nobody knows anything. Just so happened, I sent somebody over there to clean the backyard, right? Bobcat work. And he gets there to look at it and give me a quote, and he was like, well, you're going to need another dumpster. This one here is almost full. I didn't order a dumpster. What do you mean almost full? It's one there already? Wow. Okay. So, we go and we're able to get the number off the dumpster and call and find out what company rented it. Again, they're still being really just kind of careful, I guess, with their moves, because they don't know the real name. They got the company's name, and they had an email. She said she didn't even have a phone number for him. So we get in touch with the people, and they're quoting statutes that, some titles that they were intending to implement, right? There is nothing that's going to allow you to go pay somebody's taxes for them and you take an ownership interest in it, period, dead or alive. Not here in Georgia. So, that right there was just like, come on, people. And I'm back and forth with them about just simply getting their trash can off the property, off my property, off the company's property. Y'all, I'm so over it. Even to the point where I've even put them in touch with the in-law, who happened to be a real estate attorney of the deceased, right? He's married to the decedent's sister, and happened to be a real estate attorney, which made it a breeze to actually execute this deal, because he totally understood, the laws and the statutes. And then you got people who don't understand the laws and the statutes, and in their head everything is a scheme, right? Because you're paying so little for this house. I mean, I've had people tell me, another tax deed buyer, right? In a previous situation, she went in and started doing work, mold remediation, and all kinds of stuff. And, well, you're frauding people. And I went to the tax commissioner's office, and they said, well, you must not be telling them all the information. Or you're talking to somebody who don't know what they're talking about, because nothing that I'm doing is fraudulent. Sorry. Let me have your attorney's information. No, I'm not giving you, ma'am. I just can't deal with the ignorance, Then when she finally had to redeem the property after we spoke, I ended up doing some homework and finding out who her attorney was, just based on the foreclosure right of redemption that she had filed, had listed his information. And so, we finally got to the finish line. And of course, I was cussed out, well, if you want to get these properties, you need to do it the same way I do. You need to be bidding on the courthouse steps like me. hey, listen, that's your means of acquisition. That's not how I do it, right? So, you can't knock somebody, and you can't go out here and start calling people scams and fraudulent and all this stuff because of something that you don't know. It's the same thing when I think about like Trump and Mitt Romney, and people like, oh, they don't pay their taxes, they out here frauding the system, or they scamming, they only pay X amount of dollars. Listen, if you do your research, or you retain the right accountant or whatever, you can learn some of these tax codes, right? If you're in the right income bracket, it's going to behoove you to get out here and learn and educate yourself so that you can take advantage of some of these tax codes. You'd be a fool if you didn't. Are you serious? Like, who wants to just give away their money to the government and you don't have to? Who wouldn't want to keep most of what their hard-earned money? Period. Okay, so this is my little rant right now, because I'm just like so over people with this ignorance. And then here's another situation. I pulled up on a property that I had got from the owner, got her redemption rights from her via quit claim. We hadn't seen the property. That's not uncommon for me at all, because I get these properties so cheap that it doesn't matter. My risk factor is very low, so I don't literally have to. You buy something right, you can get off of it at any point. That's just how it is. If you buy it right, you're gonna be able to sell it. So they have went into this property. When I say fixed it up from head to toe, when we got there, we were like, oh, what? Head to toe, fixed up. And of course, at that moment, I literally called my attorney. I was like, I'm gonna have a problem right here, because I know that shit is going to hurt when I call, right? So anyway, went ahead and kind of gave him heads up. And, she gave a little resistance, was like, well, have your attorney call me. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, let's try to work out something, but she was a little rude, and, it is what it is. I get it. But anyway, my attorney contacts her. She agrees for the redemption. And baby, I mean, when I got there to send that money, redeem that property, all hell broke loose. When I say all hell broke loose, this lady turned into a witch, straight up. I mean, horrible. But long story short, man, if you're going to do this, this type of investing, if it's going to be your bread and butter, you have to learn the laws, right, that pertain to this stuff, man. Because you're going to end up, wasting a lot of money, a lot of time. And yeah, it may not seem fair, but it's the law. And it's not illegal. It may not seem fair that you went in and fixed this house up. But first of all, you weren't supposed to be in it anyway. That doesn't give you any right of possession, right? When you buy tax deeds. It doesn't. I'm sorry. So that's another thing. Some of these people have to pay for these lessons the hard way. But it is what it is, guys. It is. And whew, my goodness. Just do better in 2020, because I cannot keep. Oh, y'all. Anyway, I'm just rambling on, but I just had to come to y'all with that today. Know what you're doing, right? And definitely don't go into these properties knowing you haven't filed what's called a foreclosure to the right of redemption. That means that anybody that has interest in that property can no longer come back and buy it back from you. Okay? They still have to pay you what you pay for it. They still have to give you back a certain percentage, 20% for the first year, 10% each additional year, and a fraction of. So you're still going to get your money. But imagine if you went into this property, and I don't know what they put into it. If you went into this property and you put in $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000, that tax deed buyer or whoever they assign their rights to, because granted, again, it's still their property. They still have possession rights to possess that property. When they come back and say, hey, I want my property back, or they sell their property and whoever buys it has to clear that lien up, that tax lien up, so I have to pay that redemption cost. That's all they have to pay. That's it. That's it. They have to pay what it sold for at the tax sale and whatever that percentage is at that time, 20, 30, 40%, nothing more. And I'm sorry if people feel like that is a scam and that is not right and you need to go get your properties like everybody else. I'm sorry. You know, I was watching the news not too long ago, a few years ago, and then it was a guy on that acquired a property through adverse possession. He went and stayed in this property, open, utilities on, not hiding. He wasn't a squatter. I know in some people's mind they think, oh, he was a squatter if he didn't own the property. Vacant property, wasn't squatting, possessed it openly in front of the world to see. And after so many years, by law, if you do that, you can go petition the court for ownership. And that's what he did. And boy, when I tell you his neighbors were just irate, upset. Well, if you, same thing I was told. If you want to own the property, you go and qualify and get it like everybody. No. And this is what I'm talking about, guys, when I tell you I possess a wealth of unconventional knowledge, right? A lot of things, from the first house I purchased to the last house, I don't do it the traditional way, period. And, you know, I've had people look at my YouTube channels and, oh, you're scamming people and no, you just don't know what you don't know. And I hate it because we're so apt to, like, when we don't, it's a scam, right? This person is bad. This person is, y'all got to get over it. Y'all got to get over it and get your knowledge up. That is all, people. That is all I got for you today. I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. We getting ready to amp this YouTube page up. Let's get excited. I am going live on Thursdays, and I'm super crunk about it. Y'all join me. Let's collaborate. Let's talk. An overflow of unconventional knowledge to share. And you guys go be great. All right. Have a